Hey, listen, I got a real treat. Keep on going for me, Wonder. I got a real treat last night, HB. I walked out of my COVID cave. I said, Corona ain't gonna keep me from this monumental moment. Okay, and tell me who we got. Let me tell you who we got on the line with us right now. We got the winner of the 2020 Sundance Institute Vanguard Award and Sundance Film Festival U.S. Dramatic Directing Award. We got a director, performer, writer, and proud native of New Yorker. She's written for Empire. She's written for She's Gotta Have It. And she wrote the script for the 40-year-old version, was chosen for the 2017 Sundance Directors and Screenwriters Labs, and garnered the 2017 Adrian Shelley Women's Filmmaker Award. And oh man, the awards go on and on. Give it up for Radha Blank, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
It's a full circle moment to be on your show. I love you so much. I love Heather B. I love everybody on the show. Like, y'all really are like the holders of the culture, and so it means a lot that I would be on today with your boy Oswin Benjamin.
Come on.
Oh, yes.
How great is that?
Yeah.
No, you give me chills. Your journey alone. You got to read up on Radha Blank. You guys, Radha Blank, if you don't know her journey, read up on her journey, okay? The journey alone to get to this point has been incredible. And speaking of journeys, we know this man, born in Brooklyn, raised in Newburgh. He came on Sway in the Morning, I don't know how many years ago. He was putting in work, but it wasn't until he hit that platform that the world saw the work. The BET Hip Hop Awards saw the work. MTV TRL saw the works. Soundset Festival, Rolling Loud Festival, Essence After Dark, Apollo Theater saw the work. And Radha Blank saw something in him so cold that she gave him his first acting job, and he's a co-star. And her directorial debut, give it up for Oswin Benjamin. Oswin Benjamin, damn it.
Oswin!
Damn, Oswin.
Yo, for real, like, damn,
That's
yo,
you, boy?
Yo, I'm not gonna lie. Yo, your intros is legendary, my G. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm saying, like, we can end the show right now. Like,
Thank y'all for coming out. Grand opening, grand closing.
Oh, nah, don't do that, man. Listen, I want to talk about this movie. It's available on Netflix right now. And this is something that I want everyone who tunes into our show, you got time this weekend. It's a really great body of work, and it's very engaging, Radha. And as I looked at that movie, I couldn't help but see yourself. It's called the 40-year-old version. And then some of the things, real quick, if you could, for the audience who has yet to see it, can you give us the premise of the 40-year-old version and the play?
Yeah.
Please do. Go for it.
So the 40-year-old version is about a playwright, you know, a New Yorker who's down on her luck and who is desperate to find a way to, you know, salvage her voice and maybe have a breakthrough before 40. And one night after, you know, having a major failure in the world of theater, she rediscovers a part of herself through hip hop and decides she wants to make a mixtape. And that's where Oswin comes in. Is she travels all the way to Brownsville, from Harlem to Brownsville, to find this music producer that she discovered on IG. And so you find her kind of vacillating between the worlds of hip hop and theater, both places where like a black woman's voice can often be marginalized, in an attempt to find her own voice.
Oh, shit, damn, you just wrapped that up just like that. Y'all saw that? Radha Blank, she ready for this?
I've had a little practice talking about the film.
Okay, yeah. Well, when I saw you last night, I was like, this is pretty autobiographical.
Yeah.
And when you talk about a black woman, a black playwright having a hard time having her vision seen and her voice being heard, can you give us an example, like a definitive example of how that's happened to you in your journey?
Yeah, you know, I can't say that there aren't black women playwrights like Tracy Scott Wilson, Dominique Morisseau, Torey Hall, who's having all of this success with P-Valley, you know, on Stars now. I can't say that playwrights like her have not had success. It just feels like there's limited space for, you know, the whole lot of us who have something to say on that stage. And I think that's because because of who are at the gates, like who the gatekeepers are. They tend to be older white people who are programming for older white people. And so a lot of times what goes up in theater, every once in a while, sisters like that get to have a breakthrough moment. But for the most part, a lot of the storytelling seems to be aligned with what the white silver-haired patrons want to see in a black story. You know what I mean? So it's rare that there's like a contemporary voice or a voice that isn't kind of falling into a certain trope, because it's not us in control of the platform. So I'm hoping that the film becomes an opportunity for discussions about white gatekeepers. We're in a time now where the combination of the deaths of George Floyd, or the killings of George Floyd and Breonna Taylor, and COVID means we're having to sit with, this racial reckoning. Everybody's kind of like on edge or on alert about where we are in this country, and it applies to a lot of our cultural institutions too. Why aren't we in more positions of power? Why aren't we greenlighting more authentic stories? Like, why did it take me so long to tell this particular story? But shout out to Lena Waithe and Jordan Fudge and Risha Rijati. Black people, queer people, people on the margins, people of color who were the first to really stand up and say, we accept and love this story as it is. We don't want you to change a damn thing about it. So I have to shout them out for like really believing in me and taking me in the story as it is.
Yeah, man, Radha Blank, ladies and gentlemen, and it's such a great story, and it's a lot of themes in it. Just as an artist, a lot of creative folks. You at any given time, any moment that you thriving for whatever your definition of success is, you're going to reach these crossroads. We all done it. Heather's reached a crossroad where someone asks you to do something that your heart isn't in it. Tracy has. I have. I know Oswin has. And so talk about that that undertone theme that I saw throughout the movie, the battle between cause or commerce, and that's a line you actually used. And I want you to chime in too, Oswin. What has your battle been like? You said it took you so long to get to this point where you could release this movie and it not be tampered with, or it won't be altered or anything. How's your battle been between cause and commerce, Radha?
It's been an interesting struggle. I come from a family of struggling artists, and so I found very crafty ways to support myself and my artwork. Mainly, being a teaching artist for many years. I think a lot of artists in the city will tell you that is a viable path, but it does mean having to divide your time and your energy between a job and your passion. And so, I've gotten very fortunate. I have to shout out Lucius and Cookie Lyons for helping me to get a house. I want to, but working in that space where you are part of a super brain and you are working for like a major studio, there sometimes is a question between like, am I doing like the good work, and am I doing something that feels authentic to Black culture? Because at the top, we aren't there. You know what I mean? Like we aren't the person making the final decisions. Not enough anyway. But I've had a couple of moments over the years where I was like, did I just sell out, by playing drug dealer number 3 on an episode of Law and Order? You know what I'm saying? So I'm hoping that the film is like not judging the artist who has to make those decisions, but empathizing with them. Because we gotta eat. We all gotta eat. And I think the question is like, what is the artist's level of success, and what is selling out to them, like really putting it back on the artist and them kind of encouraging them to take control. Like one of the things I think is so great about creating art now in this day and age is like you have people like Issa Rae who creates web series and can kind of create a following through that, or you have artists like Oswin Benjamin who, like I found him online.
Yeah.
I just have to tell the
Wow.
story real quick.
Please.
I wanted a particular MC in the role, and the reason I wanted an MC and not necessarily a professional actor is because I'm not a professional actor, and I feel like I wanted to make sure I had chemistry with someone who was coming at the acting in the same way that I was, untrained and kind of raw. And this one particular MC that I wanted for the role was not available, and so I went to the Google search engine and I typed in New York rappers. I'm not lying. And this video by Chris Rivers comes up that I had seen before but not really paid attention to, and there's this dude named Oswin Benjamin rhyming in the video. And I went down a rabbit hole and just started looking at all of his videos, and something in me told me he was the guy. And then when he came into the audition, where he claims is his first audition ever, and his claims is the first time he ever read any dramatic dialogue, he blew me and my casting director, Jessica Daniels, away. I mean, like the raw, untapped, just natural talent that this guy has. Like, knowing that he may not have had the mainstream success of most of the rappers out there, but there was this following online that was like, I'm betting on this kid. And so when he walked in the room, I had the same conviction too. I was like, this is the dude. And when you see him in this film, I just think, professional actors, non-professional actors, artists, everyone who sees him, they're so blown away by his natural talent. He's so gifted, and I can only imagine like what's next for him. I know he has an album coming out and everything, and we all know him as like this amazing lyricist with the pen. But when you see him act in this, I think you'll see a side of him that is like surprising and very inspiring.
Yeah, wow. Shit, man, her intro was better than mine. Damn.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yo,
You might be out of a job, bro.
Man, yeah, it's cool, man. I'll work for Radha. It's good money. Trust me.
I'm gonna hold you to that.
It's all love. I like how you get down. It's interesting you say that because I'll share a little behind the scenes story. I remember I was in Spain with Kelly Kincaid, and we were having a meeting in Spain, and she kept excusing herself from the table, and I was like, damn, what's the I'm like, man, must be something serious going on. And then eventually she came back. You don't mind if I tell this story, Oswin?
No.
Okay. And eventually she came back. I said, yo, why do you keep jumping on the phone? What's going on? And she said, I'm trying to convince Oswin that this is a good thing. This role is good for you. This is something you should do because you were on the fence. At one point, I don't think you even wanted to do it. And I wanted to ask you, what was the reason? Was it what we were talking about in terms of cause and commerce? What was the reason, or was it just internal fear of what that open door could bring? Or did you think it might hurt your rap career by taking an acting role?
Nah, I think for me, if I'm being completely honest, like I've been in situations where, I had to balance whether it was going to be cause or commerce, you know what I mean? And creating out of a place of desperation and selling out. I've sold out a bunch of times, you know what I mean? Doing verses I didn't want to do because I didn't have, money to pay rent. So I got to give somebody a whack verse, or not even a whack verse, but I'm on a song of things that I typically wouldn't even talk about, like. And because of creating out of a place of desperation, I've made some interesting decisions musically or in my career to make ends meet. You know what I mean? So I know what that feels like. As far as this is concerned, it was just pure fear. You know what I mean? And It was fear because I was stepping into something that I've never done before, and I feel like and even like the album Godfrey, you know what I'm saying, that fear of not trying to be very, very stifling. And I was just like, yo, I would rather try to do this joint and then not get it knowing that I tried, or I would rather do that than to just think about what could have happened and then not do it. You know what I mean? So shout out to Kelly for sure for really pushing me, because it's like, yo, Will Smith
Thank you, Kelly.
Yeah, shout out to Kelly. And Will Smith said something. He said, the greatest things in your life is on the other side of fear.
Amen.
You know what I mean? And that has been and from that point on, from the audition on, like, fear has been an indicator for me moving forward. Like, all right, cool, I need to do this now because I'm scared.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm scared because I'm not prepared, and I'm not prepared because it's something I've never done before. So let me go and do it because I'm scared of it. And I feel like a lot of opportunities, the My America record with the locks, that happened like that too. Like I was petrified because I'm the rap guy. I'm not the hook guy. And there's certain people that see me as the hook guy. So when I got the call to do the My America thing, it was the same thing. I was petrified, and I was like, nah, I got to do it because these people probably see something in me I'm not seeing. And then I ended up making an album. You know what I mean? So like every time I've been faced with fear and I've chosen to tackle it head on, there's been a reward at the other side of that.
Right.
Oswin Benjamin. HB, you want to, because, Heather's been on the big screen.
Listen, let me just say
Sway.
something before we go any further, because this is how I'm going to close out the interview. I just want to salute that queen. I want to salute you and say thank you for being a part of the lexicon of women in hip-hop. You are one of a few black queens that, seeing you on stage unapologetically, being yourself, speaking truth to power is like part of why I'm here. So I just want to salute the queen right now.
Wow.
Heather B.
And just say, I made this film for us. I really did. I made it for the culture, but also just to say that, like, as women in the culture hasn't always been loving to us.
Right.
We always love the culture, and so I salute you, and I hope you know that part of the film is honoring folks like you.
No, man, Radha, wow, thank you. I wasn't expecting that, but I humbly thank you so much for your words. And Oswin, you already know I love you and I support you from days beginning to end. So always love. But Radha, Radha, I wanted to ask you a question because people can find you literally right now on YouTube, talking about this film as far back as 2017. Which was 3 years ago. And obviously for somebody that's new to you or they go to Sundance or go to Netflix and they see it now and people hear you speak and it's like, oh, I want to do what she did or I'm inspired by her, and all of that is great. But to what Sway alluded to initially, it's such a process. Like, we've all been in this and chipping away at it for so long, doing things necessarily that we did not want to do. If you can share a little bit, Radha, how did you keep your faith through these times? Because people just see the finished product, but they don't see the days where you just turn your phone off and give the big middle finger to the whole industry and I can't do this no more. How did you keep your faith through it all?
That's a great question. Definitely through prayer. Definitely through prayer. I joke about the ancestors in the movie, but I really do feel like my parents have transitioned, and they have a power that they didn't have in the physical realm. I know it because they are in my life. The film comes out today, October 9th. My mom, October 7th is the anniversary of her passing.
Wow.
October 28th is the anniversary of my father's passing 2 years ago. So they are so all over. And Netflix didn't know any of this, so they had their hand in this. And so knowing that my grandmothers, all of my Aunt Karen, all of my family members, I've experienced a lot of loss in a very short amount of time, and yet I have grace because I know that they're still with me. The other thing I think is so important is community. One thing that someone told me, I have been trying to get my work produced at one theater for years. And this is a theater that was like, oh my God, we love this play. What else do you have? And clearly it was almost their way of saying, your work is not for our audience. Can you create something for our audience? And after 3 or 4 of those meetings, I went down to the lobby and I shed a tear because I thought this was the theater that would produce all my work. And a friend of mine, you may know her as Michonne from The Walking Dead, and you may know her as the head of the Dora Milaje in Black Panther, but I know her as Denai Guerrera, and she knew about my frustration. And she said to me, go where the love is. Stop trying to make people love you and affirm you who don't. Go where the love is. And the reason that was such a great lesson for me is because I stopped, just like my character who is looking in one direction of success, I pivoted my head and I looked at the people who loved me already and who already were behind me. And I decided to develop things with them. You know, whether it's short content. I had a music video called Hotep's Hotepin' that I did with my friends. You know, like I did it with my friends and people who believed in me back then. And so that's my thing. It's like you have to be patient. You know, don't look for the empty shine, you know, like having a few minutes on Instagram or in social media. Like really put the work in because it's going to pay off in the end. This particular journey it took many, many years to get here. I don't think it's going to take that long for the next filmmaker, but I do feel like we just have to be patient and put the work in because now I'm in a position where not only can I not say, you know, I can't say I'm not a film director, right? But now I feel like I will have more control over where I'm going because I took the time to develop and create something that like is really resonating with people. And it takes time. It takes patience, but it also takes like fellowship with great artists who are going to lift you up when other people think like, you know, I got so many no's in the process of making this film. I don't think you should be in it. The script is funny, but why are you going to shoot it in black and white? And is there too much hip hop music in it? Should it be more about this? And I stuck to my guns because I knew there were people who did believe in me and accept me for who I am, and Lena being one of them, you know? So yeah, like I people have called me a late bloomer, or people are saying like, oh wow, look at this person who had this overnight success. No, honey, this was 20 years in the making.
20
you know, I'm moisturized.
Talk about it.
I look a little bit younger than I am, but this is 20 years in the making. And yes, I am a cougar, and I'm proud of it. I have no problem with that. But
okay.
You'll see it in the film.
What I'm saying? That's for another show. I'll call back. But no, I really feel like one of the things I hope people get out of the film is that you don't age out of your passion, and that for someone my age, hip hop still belongs to me. It belongs to us. You know, like it grew out of youth culture. I give it that. But if you got something to say and you got a pen and you could write some shit, then say it. Like, don't let popular culture tell you should look, sound, be a certain way. If rhyming is in your heart, then you should do it. You know what I mean? And so I'm hoping that the film inspires people to either pick up that pen, or if they're an artist, to dust off that graphic novel. You know, to have that moment of self-discovery and dreaming. You know, you can do that at any age.
Yeah, man, Radha Blank, man, writer, director, and producer. You know, this is her directorial debut. Go to Netflix. It's playing now in the 40-year-old version.
It's playing right now. And you know what else is out right now? I just have to say, we have a single that, oh, my God, it is a dream come true. 5 of the greatest living New York MCs are on it. Remy, Nas, Ghost, Davies, Styles P. There's a hype man on there called Rodimus Prime. It's an amazing song. It's an amazing song, and I'm really proud.
Is it out? What is it called?
It's called The Mecca.
Okay.
We did it with Mass Appeal. Guy Rute helped me to EP this song.
Wow.
You know, and really, really proud of that single, and proud that it is, you know, done in the spirit of the film. But yeah, the song, the movie, these performances, it's all a love letter to New York. You know, the city has been changing a lot as a result of gentrification, of course, as a result of COVID. And I'm hoping that the film, along with this single and the performances of its actors, really kind of puts New York in a time capsule, you know, so we can kind of cherish what's left of authentic New York culture.
Okay, let's do this, Radha. You guys got a few minutes to hang out with us? You're not going nowhere, right? You ain't got to jump on another. No. Okay, I'm going to play the Mecca. Let's play the Mecca.
Oh, shit.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Let's do it. Okay, we're going to come back with Radha Blank and Oswin Benjamin, 888-742-3345.
I'm on my way to the big city. I'm going to New York.
40-year-old version.
Welcome to the Mecca.
City never sleeps in the
Sway in the morning, that's the Mecca from the 40-year-old version. Make sure y'all get that streaming now. Yo.
Shout out to Ghost, shout out to Remy, shout out to Daisy, shout out to Nas, shout out to Styles P and the Beat Miners. That's the beat by the Beat Miners, okay? We're talking legends. Everybody on this track, save for Dave East, is over 40 years old, okay? So these are like New York legends, classics, and they all came together on one track. And what a blessing it is. Mm-hmm. What a blessing it is. You know what I mean?
It's amazing.
That was kind of crazy.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? Like, people came, like, with that young energy. Like, yeah, we all over 40 and shit, but, like, they really came to represent for the city. And, you know, I feel like, I don't know, I'm just really proud of this moment for the culture. And, you know, the fact that, like, the versatility that's in the culture, the fact that, like, someone like Oswin, again, is, like, a dope MC, but also is a dope actor. Like, you know, like, hip-hop, we are sophisticated. We're grown. We're smart. We're savvy. We're parents. We're leaders. We're teachers. So I'm hoping that the film, the single, again, the performances really puts us in that light. I mean, that's why I shot in black and white film is because hip-hop as a culture, like, is often presented through a very, like, oversaturated, over-sexualized, like, hype lens. And with the black and white film, it brings us down to, like, a very cool, sophisticated, and vulnerable lens. You know what I mean? And so, you know, I'm glad that in this moment we get to show all these different sides of the culture.
It's beautiful, you know, and I'm going to let you, Tracy, jump in. But even hearing you say that, Radha, I'm thinking back to even in the beginnings, that's what it's always been. We've always had the capabilities. We always had the talent. We always had all of those things. It's just, to your point earlier, we just never had the power of distribution. We didn't have the power of budgets. You didn't have the you know, we didn't have control of the infrastructures that distributed our content to the world, and now we're starting to see that change. Radha Blank is here. Oswin Benjamin is here. 888-742-3345. Colin is in Minneapolis. Colin, Grand Rising's Colin.
Hey, Colin.
Grand Rising, everybody.
That's Colin. What's up, Colin?
What up? I saw the movie last night. Had to wait till like 2 a.m. for Netflix to let me watch it, but loved it. My two takes on it are just the authenticity. Just comes through. Great story. And then I guess the other part is just Oswin, you can actually act. I mean, you amazed me. It's rapping, singing, and now acting, man. You just take it. So loved it. Really proud of you guys. And then the other thing I kind of just wanted to tell the family is I had my third son last week.
Oh.
Wow, congrats.
Wow.
I was actually up watching the movie while I fed him last night. So I'll have to watch it again because I probably missed some stuff. But great movie and great job by everybody.
All right, man. My man Colin, man. You a producer.
Yeah, that's amazing.
You produced 3 projects yourself, bro. You produced 3 projects.
Can I get citizenship for my son?
What's his name?
His name is Lawrence Joseph Young.
Lawrence Joseph Young. Lawrence Joseph Young. LJY, you are officially a super citizen.
Super baby citizen is Sway in the morning.
There you go.
And check out Black and Blue by Oswin today.
Okay. I love this guy.
Wow.
Matter of fact,
publicist.
Oswin got a new singer. Thank you, Colin. A new single called Black and Blue. I'm going to play it at the end of the interview, Oz. Is that cool?
Hey, that's more than cool with me.
Okay. And it's available on all streaming platforms. Okay, I got you, man.
Available everywhere.
Yeah,
Thank
Tracy
you,
G.
I cannot say enough how excited I am for what's going to happen with this young man. I really feel like he represents, you know, like those performers of yesteryear where they were like, they could sing, they could tap, they could croon, you know, they could act, they could do, you know, he's one of those, he's a Renaissance performer. And I'm really happy to see what's going to happen for him in this new role as an actor.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because even last night at the drive-in, I somehow came in and ended up being his bodyguard. You guys should have seen it. Like, so I already start seeing the change. Tracy, I'm already seeing the change. Why am I guarding this guy? I'm trying to guard you? Come on, Tracy, get in there. I don't know.
Oh, my gosh. Well, first of all, for the both of y'all, thank you so much for helping us end the show with just these powerful testimonies. I'm wondering, Oswin, since we pivoted the spotlight back on you, homie, if you can just speak on, since this is your first time doing acting, and, Radha spoke about wanting someone who was raw, and not so polished and experienced, just so she could really get that authenticity to shine through. What did you learn specifically from Radha? And then Radha, if following that, you can jump in and share what you learned specifically from Oswin in this experience.
I think one of the things that stuck with me from the whole experience is all right, so the situation that stuck out to me the most, I'll start there. It was when before the table reads, she was super patient. Like, I'm really big on time, but for some reason, like, I was always late when I had to read these table reads and things like that. Like, some always got in the way, and she was super patient. And when we got there, we really worked through the lines. And I think one of the things that stuck out to me was, like, I've never acted before. This is her theater, and you know what I mean. That world, that art form, that's her forte. So to have me in there and give my piece and I don't know about this, or I don't know if I would say something like this, and we really built this character. Like, this is 50 to 75% autobiographical on Radha's end. So to have somebody that's not experienced at all in that field to come in and then you still trust their voice with something that, they're not familiar with.
Right.
That was super crazy to me. And it's like, she didn't shoot my ideas down. It wasn't like, nah, this is my shit, so shut the fuck up, you gonna do what I say. It wasn't that. It was like, all right, cool. All right, we could try that. Let's try that. Let's see how it will work. And however many takes it took, she didn't mind, and she made it super comfortable to the point where I was just like, yo, I didn't even see myself doing this. So I would say, just to circle back, what I learned the most from Radha, it was a reflection on me. Like, yo, you really, there's really nothing that you can't do once you really, really put your best foot forward and you have the right team around you that can make you feel comfortable in new endeavors.
Amen.
Okay.
Straight up. What about you, Radha?
I've learned so much from this. Amazing. I hope this doesn't hurt your reputation, but gentle spirit. Yes, his pen is like very wicked and very sharp, but Oswin is a goofball. You know what I mean? And I don't know if it's because he was new to the experience. There was always an excitement in his eye. And I remember having a couple of moments of, it was tough, arduous, 12-hour days. I'm in front and behind the camera. And I was having a meltdown. And I was about to go in on somebody. And I don't know if you remember this, Oswin. You were standing in the doorway of the bodega holding onto the Funyuns. We were about to shoot that final scene. And you just mouthed out to me. You said, sis, don't go Brooklyn on them. Don't go Brooklyn. Just, you didn't really say much. It was something in your eye. There was something that was very comforting. And that's the thing about Oswin is, and everyone said this, it's like everywhere he went, there was love. Because it was something that he was emitting. The other thing I want to talk about very briefly is, there's a scene in the film where Dee and Radha, they had a moment of intimacy the night before, but to me the real intimacy is when they're sitting on the edge of the bed freestyling about their mothers. Normally when I close the Radha Miss Prime show, I close it with a song called Mom Supreme, and it's a dedication to my mother, where I kind of sing rap to the melody of Love Supreme by John Coltrane. The Coltrane Estate, as we were shooting the scene, it seemed like they weren't going to clear my use of the melody. So we shot one version of that, Mom Supreme, and then we shot another version. And the way we got to the other version was Oswin and I just took a walk around the block. You remember this, Oswin? The sun was shining. Yeah. And we just started riffing off of, like, what a freestyle about our mothers would feel like. We didn't plan too much. And I think this kind of made up improvised scene actually is better than the other one because it is so raw and it is so real. And I give Oswin a lot of credit because I know how hard it is for you, someone who is just rhyming comes natural to you, to sit back into the role of someone who isn't a rapper. You know, in that cipher with Kemba and Mickey Fax and Arlene's Grocery, for you to just sit back and listen and not participate in that. And then for you, you know, when we first did the Mama May I scene, like, he had, like, bars. He had bars. And I said, you know what, Oswin, I need Steve to come out now. Right, because Oswin is the skilled pen.
Yeah.
He is more of the sonic, rhythmic support, you know. And so I know it was not easy for him to turn off that part of his artist voice and turn on another, but he did it, and he did it beautifully. And it's why I think that's one of my favorite scenes in the film, is because that freestyle is so raw and real and personable, you know, personal.
If you're not engaged from the passion alone that we're hearing in Radha Blank's voice about this film, the 40-year-old version, then you might need therapy. Something is clogged. You know what I mean? There's a chamber. You know, you might have plaque in the chamber. I'm not sure what it is, but it's for some reason. And I think I want everyone. It's great. You did a great job, Radha Blank. Oswin Benjamin.
Thank you.
Great film.
We're
of this culture. You know what I mean? This is powerful. You as a woman, you as a black woman, being able to do this, and then Lena Waithe and others supporting you. Happy for you. I'm proud of you. And thank you for recognizing Oswin Benjamin. And Oswin, you keep growing, man.
Yeah.
We all believe in you, man. But I want to put no pressure on you. You know what I mean? Just be yourself. You ain't got no pressure. You don't have to prove anything. I always told you that. You ain't got to prove nothing no more to nobody. We know what you do. Have fun, expand, and then use that fear factor for your growth, brother. All right?
Amen.
Thank you, man.
Absolutely. We got to I want to end this conversation. Tell us about Black and Blue and what people can expect coming from you on the music front, but you're here today as an actor. Go for it.
Got you. So Black and Blue is it, you know what, Sway? Because I love you and the family so much. Heather B, DB, Tracy G, OQ, Wonder. Like, I love y'all, Kelly. I love the whole team. So, like, I'm releasing album. I'm looking at the end of this year. I didn't tell nobody the name of it, but I gotta put y'all on. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
The name of the album.
Wait, hold up. Give me a drum roll. Here we go.
The name of the album is called Joy Comes in the Morning, and morning spelled with a U. And it was a lot. It was a lot going on between the pandemic, between the passing of my best friend Ozzie Murphy, rest in peace, and between me getting married. I got married in April. So just being a black man in 2020, finding a medium between grieving and dealing with death and the celebration of a new chapter of my life, being married, and finding myself in the middle of that while all of this racial nonsense is going on. You know what I mean? So that's the premise of the project. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of reoccurring things, a lot of love, a lot of life, a lot of death, a lot of rebirth. It's a lot going on in the album. But this specific single called Black and Blue featuring Tammy Stevens, it's just how we see ourselves in today's world. You know what I mean? Being black in a white world, and how difficult it is to sometimes walk in our truth, knowing the narrative that's been presented to us. You know what I mean? So that's what the single is about.
A lot of food this morning. Black and Blue. Oswin Benjamin. Joy Comes in the Morning.
Yeah.
Wow. We're going to explore that when it's album time, okay?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, let's get it.
Okay. Congratulations to both of you. I'm glad I got a chance to see the movie. My daughter liked it, Radha. She's the biggest critic there is. So,
amazing.
So she likes it. That's a good sign. You guys have an amazing day. Folks, watch the 40-Year-Old Virgin, Version. It's a play on 40-Year-Old Virgin. A lot of people think it's the same. It's two different things. Absolutely. You guys make sure you watch it. Radha, have a great day. Oswin, have a great day.
Thanks for having us on. We love you.
Love you
Love
too.
you.
Love you too.
Okay. And we got Movie Junkies coming up right after Black and Blue. It's a world premiere. Available on all platforms. Go get it. Black and Blue, citizens.
Austin Benjamin.
Let's go.
Sway in the morning. It's